DDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Ask Elaine, where to ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, where to ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, where to ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, where to ask Elaine.
Hey, hey. Ooh, we're loud. It's okay. All right, now y'all. Welcome to Ask Elaine. When we get on here every Wednesday, we have our engineer. If it were not for him, we would just probably go kaboom out here. But he keeps us straight, and we just appreciate him so much. And he's just so calm and collected, so calm and cool with it. And then he helps us to get it all straight. And now I think we are straight. But that's why people have certain lanes, Uh, they do their thing, we do our thing, and you don't cross them up because that's when you have the problems. But hello, we want to welcome you to another edition of Ask Elaine. We've got an exciting hour for you today. We have in the first segment, we have none other than Miss Valerie Rogers, who has allowed herself to become an open book. You didn't know that, did you? But she has. She is running for state representative, and she's a large portion of it is the Milledgeville area. We'll talk about all of that in just a little bit. But we know that we have listeners from all over. And so we had a chance to meet her not too long ago. We're very, very impressed. We thought you needed to know and you needed to spread the word to all of your relatives living in that district that this is a person that they need to vote for. They need to support her. She has all of the credentials, all the background, all of the stuff that would allow her to become a really respected state representative. So we wanted you to meet her. We wanted to let you know that we support her and we're going to do all we can to help her. We've already made a contribution to her campaign, and you ought to do that too. It doesn't matter the size of the contribution, it's the fact that you give to somebody that you believe in. And that's one thing that we don't do a lot, and that is we say we support folks, but we don't go and work on their behalf. We don't call up people and say, please vote for this person or consider, and please send them a dime or two, to help them with all of the campaign expenses. So we got to do a better job of that. But today we're going to talk to her, let her tell you about herself, and then let her also ask you for your support in her race for state representative. We need more Black and brown and responsible, sensitive folks serving in office. And so that's going to be the first half of the show. Second half of the show, we're going to bring on our buddy Herbert Denard and also Mr. Jim Montgomery, who is the newly appointed executive director of the Mayor's Macon Literacy Alliance. and he's going to talk about that. You're going to be just so interested in that. So we've got a wonderful show today. We want to thank our sponsors for helping to keep this program on. We want to thank Black Voters Matter for supporting us in making sure that you know the facts, you know the true facts. We want to thank Patricia Booz for joining us. We want to thank Randy Crawford, and we want to express condolences to him and his family in the loss of their brother. We want to welcome, I know Randy and Ricky, both of them are on listening with us. We want to welcome them, as well as all of you who are listening on AM 980, those who are listening on 107.9 FM, and then those who, whatever the medium is that you are using, we want to thank you for being there. Pastor Lisa Watson is with us, and we hope to be joined by all of these other folks who always come on. I think our special guest has let some folks know,
yes, ma'am,
how to interact and how to get on and listen and watch this program today. So we are just so grateful. Thank you so much for being there. This is your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas, welcoming you once again to Ask Elaine. This is your weekly talk and information program, and we hope that each week we share with you something that helps to improve your life. And one of the main things is that you ought to be registered. You've got a few more days to register. You ought to be a voter for life. If you haven't voted, that's water under the bridge. But it's time now to correct that and to become a registered voter. Take part in your community because we've got a lot of challenges. And so now I want to introduce to you all Miss Valerie Rogers. We want to welcome her to the program. And we want her, first of all, to tell you a little bit about herself, her background. You're going to be so impressed. And then we're going to have her to tell you why she wants your support and what the general area is that she's running to represent. So, welcome to Ask Elaine.
thank you so much. Um, I appreciate you and I appreciate the invite. I thank you so much. I am honored and humbled to be running for District 25. My name is Valerie Rogers, like Commissioner said. I am a retired educator with 32 years. I'm also a retired veteran. So, yes, I'm a member of Eastern Star. I'm a member of NAACP, just to name a few organizations. Why am I running? Well, first of all, we want to know, that the pandemic has changed our lives dramatically. We know that. And with that said, my platform is on education. As far as education is concerned, we need to make sure we increase the number of teachers that we have, and as far as our staff support personnel, like the cafeteria workers and the bus drivers, because we have a shortage of them as well. So on my platform, I want to make sure that we have increased us in salaries across the board for everybody, because the bus drivers are just as important in getting the kids to the school for the teachers to
Right.
educate them.
That's
So
right.
we got to make sure that all the staff, everybody, is getting compensated. So there's an increase in staff. The second thing is that healthcare. You can have quality healthcare, but is it affordable? That's the thing. So on my platform, we're talking about affordable, quality healthcare. We got to make sure that everybody in Georgia is covered. Right now, everybody in Georgia is not covered. We have over 500,000 that are not covered, and that's not right. We need to correct that problem. How? By doing, they don't want to call it Obamacare. But anyway, if we
Well,
were,
it's Obamacare.
yes,
So,
ma'am, exactly. That's
you
what it
know,
is.
tough if they don't want to call it that. It's Obamacare, y'all.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm proud to call it Obamacare. So,
Hallelujah.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Yes. And so with that coverage, everybody will be covered. But our current governor is saying that it's too costly. So my thing is, you putting a price on our lives, and that's not right. So we need to go back and make corrections on that. And the third one is the voting rights. I understand that there is a war in the Ukraine, and I'm not downplaying that whatsoever because I'm a veteran. I've been keeping up with that as well. But we also have a war here in Georgia, and what I mean by that, the battle lines have literally been drawn with the voting. So they want to discourage us to vote. And how can you do that? Change it up so you have to go to a different
Mm-hmm.
precinct. So
Mm-hmm.
we're not having that. We are not going to let them get away with that. So again, like the commissioner said, you have got to get out and you got to vote. If you have not voted, go ahead and register to vote. You
Mm-hmm.
can do it three ways: either register right now, vote into election day, do early voting, or you can do ballot by mail. So you
Mm-hmm.
have three choices. There is no excuse. We have got to come out of the shadows and we have got to vote because it is no joke. They are trying to monopolize the voting districts. We cannot let that happen. My website just went live today.
Mm-hmm.
So you can hit me up on Facebook at Valerie Rogers with a D for Georgia. Once you click on that, you will see my three websites. Is Valerie Rogers for Senate. It's all together one word .org. So you can click on either one of those links and you'll see my information. Donations are, ooh, I can't
Very
stress.
much
Yes, ma'am. They
appreciated.
very are very much appreciated.
Yes.
And with the campaign, everything that we are doing, it costs money. It's not free. So we need your support. We need your votes, and we need donations. We need volunteers. So please, if you want to reach out to me, my number is 470-927-9897. Again, my number is 470-927-9897.
Okay, and we can have you to put that in the chat
Yes,
when you
ma'am.
you get a
I
chance,
will.
just in case folks a little slow right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, um, the the host has already put it. See, I tell you, if it weren't for him, I tell you, I don't know. Ask Elaine might not make it every week. Tell us the general area. Tell us the area that's in the what is the district
Okay,
number?
the district number is 25. Now, I know I'm not running against Senator David Lucas. No, I'm supporting him. He's endorsing me. Him and his wife have endorsed me. So where my district ends and B up, his picks up. So let me make sure we get that clear across the board. My district covers Baldwin, all of Baldwin, portions of Bibb, all of Butts, Jasper, Jones, Putnam, and a small portion of Henry County. So again, I have 7 counties in my district. I need support in all the counties. So if you need for me to come and speak for a little bit at your church, or any sponsored events in your community, give me a call at 470-927-9897, and I would gladly come and speak.
Hmm. Okay, so you've got that information, and it's being shared in the chat. And we appreciate Pastor Lisa for being there as always and keeping us on target as far as how we're doing each week. We want to say hello to Sherry Shannon Miller, who assisted us this weekend
Yes,
with
ma'am.
a we set up a table over at Community Church of God on
Yes.
Saturday morning. They gave away all kinds of stuff. It was a wonderful sight to see. People lined up and they were picking up all kinds of useful items that were being handed out there at Community Church of God. Of course, you could register to vote. We had a table set up to encourage people to get their high school diploma.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
we also had some information on why it was important for
Yes.
people to register and also to vote. But Sherry helped with that. My sister Nita, who is usually on here, she helped with that, assisted with that as well. And we want to give a special shout out and a special thank you to my Four Tops and Temptation buddies. Oh, it was a show, y'all. Y'all say Temptations are old, the Four Tops are old. I tell you, they might be old, but there's nothing old about those
I
voices. I
love them.
mean, the music. Oh, it was wonderful, and it was very interesting. Folks remarked that actually there were more whites attending the show than there were black folks,
Oh, okay.
and And that is correct. And the folks knew all the words to all the Temptations and Four Tops songs. It was an enjoyable evening. Senator was there. He enjoyed it. He even sang along with some of the songs. But my buddies that went with me, Mary Jane Glover, is in our office volunteering today. And also Joyce Gray Humphrey was there. And of course, Sherry Shannon Miller was on duty doing a whole lot of stuff.
Wow.
And of course, me and the senator, and we've posted a little bit of the some of the songs on our Facebook pages. Pastor Lisa says she saw us live. We love to go and to share just a little bit of those shows so people will get a chance to see all of the kinds of things that are
Yes.
coming to Macon and take part
Yes.
in those. You sit and you say, there's nothing to do in Macon. There's nothing to do in Milledgeville. There's nothing to do in Warner Robins. There's nothing to do. Well, there's a whole lot. A lot of times I get frustrated
Yes.
because I can't make a lot of the things that I would like to go to because there's so much going on.
Exactly.
Last weekend, we went this past weekend we went to the Otis Redding weekend, and it was my honor along with some other commissioners to declare the weekend in honor of Otis Redding and Zelma Redding. And not only are they bringing a state of the art arts studio
Mm-hmm.
to the downtown area, but they're also going to provide the opportunity for a lot of talent from this community to get a
Okay.
shot
Wow.
at
That is great.
making it. So it was my honor to read and present the proclamation. It was mine and Senator's honor to be with them with the wonderful talent at the Grand Opera House, which, by
Yes.
the way, you pay for that too. I like to remind you of all the stuff you're paying for, and you need to go and sit and enjoy the comfortable, cushy chairs and stuff that your money, your splost money, is paying for. See, you're not doing anything but hurting yourself when
Yes.
you don't go to these different things because more than likely you're paying for it. And I like to remind you of what you're paying for. Cherry blossom. Some people sit back
Yes.
and they say, I'm not going to that. That's a white folks. What? I mean, they don't separate the money out into white folks' money and black folks' money or Asian money or Indian money or Pakistani money or whatever, or, American Indian money. They don't do it that way. They take all of it, don't they?
Yes, ma'am. It's
And they
all
put it in
green.
the pot
All
and
green.
it's spent by those folks who represent you. So if you're not taking part in stuff, you're overlooking, you're ignoring enjoyment. You're overlooking and not taking part in things that you can enjoy that you're paying for.
Yes.
You pay for the upkeep of City Hall, all the fire stations, all the police stations, the city auditorium, the Coliseum. You're paying for all of that. The streets, the sidewalks, all of that stuff. You're paying for it. You paid for it to be put in place and you're paying for the upkeep. So why would you not go and participate in cherry blossom events that you're paying to help support? It just
Exactly.
doesn't make sense to me. So find out what's going on. If it's something you enjoy, go to it because we surely will. If we go and we buy food,
Yes.
we will pay whatever it costs.
Exactly.
And so, why not expand that and use your money to enjoy a lot of other things? Now, there's a blues show, Anthony Hamilton,
Yes.
that's coming up in
Really?
October. And so I encourage people to go to your Coliseum that you're paying for and the upkeep and the beautification and all of that, and go and get your ticket and witness that wonderful show. If that's what you want to do,
Yes.
go. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not a part of this stuff because you are. You're either paying for it, you did pay for it, or you will pay for it. And next week we're going to have some wonderful news about a development, some stuff that's about to happen on the east side of town. And I know people want to complain all the time about what's not happening on the east side. There's a lot happening, and the east side is one of the lowest as far as criminal crime,
Yes,
crime,
ma'am.
those kinds of activities in this whole community. So we're going to talk about that and let you know what's going on, that you'll want to know about and take part in. We want to welcome Shirley Lester to the program, and we want to just thank all of you for tuning in to Ask Elaine. This is your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas, welcoming you to the program by whatever medium you're using, AM, FM, the Glory, Facebook Live, however you're getting us. We want to welcome you to the program. Our special guest for this first half of the show is Miss Valerie Rogers, who is a candidate for Senate District 25.
Yes.
That's that Senate district that Miriam Paris, she won an election, a 1 year election, after she helped to throw consolidation on all of us. She was there for a year, and she signed a bill that allowed for a third senator to be in our legislative delegation. And that third senator was supposed to be a Republican and has been a Republican, to nullify Senator Lucas's vote in the delegation. Now, that's the present she brought to us, and that's what we're having to live with. We've got an opportunity, those of us who live and vote in Senate District 25,
Yes, ma'am.
to elect someone who will represent the area, who will not be a puppet for anybody, but who will represent the area. Could you tell us again, Ms. Rogers,
Yes, ma'am.
the general area, the counties that are represented, specifically what part of Bibb County is in your that Senate district, and then why we ought to vote for you?
Okay, all of my counties that are in my district, again, they are Baldwin, Butts, Bibb, Putnam, Jasper, Jones, and Henry County. Now, in Bibb, they redrew some of the district
Yeah,
lines, and so it's off. I know, I think it's up in Joy Cliff Road and all of that area too. But it's a small. I have a small portion of Bibb,
right.
a very small portion of Bibb, and in Henry County, I have a small portion of Henry County. I have just McDonough, Georgia, in Henry County. But all the other five counties, I have all of those. So again, like I said earlier, don't get it confused and thinking that Senator David Lucas and I are running against each other. We are not. I'm supporting them, and they have endorsed me. So again, where my district ends, his picks up.
Right.
So I just want to make sure we get that across because they are wonderful people, and I love them a
Yeah,
lot.
there's a
So
little area, a little
yes,
section that's up there near Northeast High School
yes, ma'am.
that the Republicans, when they redrew the lines, they took a portion of the district that was in Lucas's 26th district,
Right.
and they put it in the 25th
Yes.
to diminish Senator Lucas's Democratic
Yes.
voters and put them over in the majority Republican leaning
Yes.
district, Senate District 25. That's how they did with consolidation, y'all, which was to give Republicans a better opportunity to win, to run, and to win. That's
Exactly.
what this whole redistricting did. But the answer to this whole thing and not having people to do wrong, right in our faces,
Right.
is to elect people who will do right.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so we've got an obligation to do that. If we don't vote, then the other folks are going to prevail because they are motivated
Yes.
to vote and put folks like Herschel Beat Your Wife Walker, in there. They want Kemp. And
Hmm.
they want those folks who are going to continue with the anti-voting
Yes, ma'am.
talk, the
Roe versus Wade.
kill everybody that you can,
Yes, ma'am.
as long as they're black, that kind of mentality. Those are the kinds of folks that if you want them in office, don't vote.
And you need
Don't vote.
and you need to vote is very important. Another thing too is that, like I served my country. I'm a proud veteran. I served my country. I was overseas. So just like I served my country, I would definitely need to serve our district just as hard. So
Mhm.
just make sure you go on Facebook and do Valerie Rogers for Georgia, and you'll see my accolades on. I have a lot, so I want you to go and read for yourself. But just like I have students that competed at the region level, state level, and we placed third in the nation. So if I did that for my students, what would I do for our district? So again, it goes back to you have got to get out there and vote. You've got to vote because right
Right.
now everything is at stake, whether you realize it or not. Everything is at stake. And what gets me is that when I have gone around and did the grassroots and going to the community like I've always done, even before I started running, was that the question I would ask them is that, have you voted? No. And then I said, well, why not? My vote doesn't matter. And I said, well, who told you that? So again, your vote does matter. And if anybody said that to you, they wrong. And I like that
Yeah.
song by Beyonce said, you can't break my soul.
All right.
You got to
All
tell them
right.
you can't break my soul. We gonna do this. And my motto is one team, one fight. Together,
All
we
right.
will make a difference. Again, let me say it if you didn't catch it the first time. One team, one fight. Together, we will make a difference. Not Valerie by herself. I can't do it by myself. I need your help. I need your support. Your support. I need your donations. I need all of that. And again, I emphasize I need for you to make sure you're a registered voter. If you're not, check on that right now. Make sure you register to vote. If you are not a registered voter, you can go on the website and they will ask you for your last name, your first initial, your last name, date of birth, and your county. It would tell you if you are a registered
Right.
voter. It would be a
Right.
green check and it says active. If
Mhm.
you are, you're good to go. And it would check to make sure your address is right so you'll know what precinct you need to go to. That's very important because a lot of people have been, since they have redrew the district lines, some of the precincts have changed, some of them have not. So it's up
Right.
to you. I challenge you to go check and to make sure that your district hasn't changed. I give you another challenge. Take 4 people with you to the polls. That's my
Absolutely.
challenge to you. I'm taking 10. So you need to make sure you take 4 with you to the polls. 5, 6 is even better.
Yeah.
But the more
Yeah.
the merrier. We want to go out and party. Let's party and vote together. I call it VT time, voting time. You got to do this. Vote, 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 vote. Vote for
I like
Valerie.
that.
So let's do
I
that,
like
please.
that. I like that. I don't know what else anybody has to say. I don't know what else anybody, I don't know what other kinds of credentials you have to convince people that you're qualified. Generally, black and brown and women candidates are overqualified. They have credentials beyond, above and beyond anybody else. But it's that vote. It's who goes to vote, how many go to vote. And so it's left up to all of us to make sure that we protect ourselves and protect our children's heritage because there are some people who are trying to take us back.
Yes.
They are trying to take us back to a time that where we don't want to go. We really do not. So let's protect ourselves. Let's protect our children. Let's protect our heritage. Let's protect our educators. Let's protect our healthcare folks. Let's do what's right for ourselves. All we got to do is go vote.
Exactly.
All we got to do is go vote. And those if of us who don't vote, there's somebody that's going to vote in your place. And the outcome is not what you want. It's not what you want. We want to thank Ms. Valerie
Thank you.
Rogers for being with us today. Hopefully, we can get her back on
Yes, ma'am.
as we approach the election day. Have her in October
Yes.
to come back and talk with you again and remind you that she needs your support. We do have a caller, and just in case this caller is for you, we're
Okay.
going to go ahead and take this call. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, welcome to Ask Elaine.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. Who?
Sound like Hope.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Tell us about yourself. This is another candidate.
Yes.
This is another candidate. And we're going to let Miss Rogers step out and have our other guests to come in. Thank you so much while we talk with this other
Thank
candidate who is
you.
calling us. And we're going to have her to come in
Yes.
too. Maybe we can have the both of you to come in
Yes,
together. But
ma'am.
thank you so much for being here today. Yes, ma'am. How are you today?
I am fabulous. It's a beautiful day. We
It
are less
is.
than 2 months away from November the 8th, so I am pumped up, motivated, and ready to make some changes up there in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. So tell us about your race. Tell us the position that you're running for, and tell us why voters should vote for you.
Absolutely. So, my name's Attorney Hogan Harrison Wallington, and I'm running for State House representative for District 133. And that covers a portion of Baldwin County and a portion of Jones County. Unfortunately, when they redistricted it, they did not include the entire portions of both of those counties. So, but it does cover the vast majority of Baldwin County and the vast majority of Jones. It does not include the part of Jones that's closest to Fifth County, but it does include downtown Jones County and most of all of downtown and most of Baldwin County. It does not include the part of Baldwin County going towards Florida, Hancock County.
Okay.
I am an
So
attorney.
now, the person who formerly represented the district that you're running for is the one who's running against Valerie for the Senate. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your background. If you could speak up just a little louder, tell us a little bit
Oh,
about your background and why. Tell us why voters should support you.
oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. So I'm an attorney in Milledgeville. I was born and raised in Baldwin County, Baldwin High School, class of '99. Am I speaking loud enough? Are you able to hear me? Okay.
We're not able to hear you really well. I'm sure there's something I'm not doing, some button I haven't pushed far enough. You know, I do that kind of that kind of stuff here. But if you just speak up a little bit, we'd appreciate it.
Okay, I'll try to talk as loud as I can, and when I come on again, I'll make sure that you hear everything I have to say. But
Yeah.
but I was born and raised in Baldwin County. I'm an attorney. I've been practicing for 13 years in Baldwin County. Currently, I'm the guardian ad litem to children that are in foster care in Baldwin and Jones County. Meaning that if they're in foster care, I'm the one who makes sure that their interests are protected and that when they are reunited with their parents, that it is a safe, stable, loving, nurturing environment for these children. So I am
Oh, that's
intimately
wonderful.
aware of all the issues that are occurring in Baldwin and Jones County on the family dynamic side of it. I also practice in the areas of family, criminal, and personal injury. So I am familiar with the needs in the community as far as mental health, substance abuse, the issues with housing, the issues associated with health care. And that is the reason why I am running for state house representative because I know what the needs are in Baldwin and Jones County. I know how we can serve those needs, and I know how we can change and implement new legislation that can address the needs that have not been addressed so far or have been underaddressed in Baldwin and Jones County.
Oh, okay. What we so we've got all kinds of sound effects. Sound effects today. Yeah. Okay. And and Herbert's in here with his sound effects too. But you know what? I'm going to ask our engineer to come in and help us with getting this reverb out. And then I'm going to invite you to come into the studio because I'm afraid that people didn't get a chance to hear everything. So we want you to come into the studio. And if you will come, arrange to come next week, next Wednesday, then we will have you on the air and we'll be able to interview you in an appropriate way. Will that work?
Wonderful. Absolutely. That would be just phenomenal.
Okay,
Next Wednesday.
next Wednesday. And we will be in touch between now and then so that we can make sure that we get all of the arrangements together. And we look forward to having you on next Wednesday.
Wonderful. And I look forward to being there as well. Thank you so much.
Okay, in the meantime, if you would enter your information in the chat, we would appreciate it. And those,
I'm sorry, you went out. If I could
and,
what?
and if you, if, well, see, I told you I messed up a station. Our engineer is going to work on this.
Uh, okay. I just I didn't catch what you said. Uh, maybe we can connect afterwards, and you can just kind of fill
Yes.
me in on what I need to do for preparation for next week.
Okay, that sounds good. If you would enter all your information in the chat.
Okay, I can do that. I sure
Okay,
can.
thank you so much. Let me see if
Thank
I
you, and
thank
we'll be
you.
talking
And
more
I
next week.
apologize for the technical difficulties. I am certain that it's my fault. So next week we will have an opportunity to talk with you in person and get a clear understanding of everything. We will tell people and post in the chat the information about you, that you're an attorney, that you deal with children's issues with a lot of different important issues, and you're well qualified for that position. So thank you for calling in to us, and we look forward to next week.
Sounds great. Thank you. Y'all
All
have a
right.
wonderful week.
You too. That's great.
Bye bye.
Now, Mr. Engineer, are we okay for these two handsome gentlemen? Are we okay? Ah, all right. Now, for the second part of it, and I do apologize. I know it was something I did in here that I wasn't supposed to do, but I'm going to keep my fingers off of these little buttons and things, and then it will work out right. But we're glad to have you there. The second half of Ask Elaine today has two of my favorite gentlemen. After the senator, I have to add that part, right? Herbert.
Absolutely.
Herbert Denard. You all know Herbert as one of our icons in this community. He has served us for a long, long time in a lot of different capacities. And he's going to tell us in a minute about a special program, a second part of a program that's aimed at reducing violence in our community. Our other guest is none other than Mr. Jim Montgomery. I've known him for a long, long time. We were colleagues in the school system for a long, long time. I retired a long time ago, and then you just retired too. But he has a new mission. He's on a new mission. And I want to tell you, the mission that he's on is going to reduce a lot of the negative kinds of things that we complain about. Our hearts bleed every time we have someone who gets killed. Every time there's a family that has to bury someone, a lot of times very young member of their family. And then the other family might as well bury somebody because whoever did the crime is gone from them forever. So, Mr. Jim Montgomery has been named the executive director of the mayor's, and he'll give us the exact title on it because I mess that up just like I do these little knobs down here. But we're going to ask Herbert if he would tell us about the continuing program, the anti-violence program in the community. And then we will go to Mr. Montgomery, who will tell us what he's doing out of retirement, what he's doing, which is going to make so much difference. Welcome, Herbert. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you.
To Ask Elaine.
Thank you, Commissioner. You know, you and I went to school together
Yeah, see, now he's going to start with that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
at Macon College a long, long time ago. Uh, but off from that,
He had been in the military and was older. He tries to make it seem like we're the same age. We are not. So we got that out of the way. Go ahead, Herb.
this Saturday at Lizzie Chapel Baptist Church, we will meet again to uh, hear about ways that we could stop the violence and end the violence. I talked to something interesting. I talked to Bert Bivens, a former commissioner, long, long time ago, and he told me this. When he was teaching in the school system, most of the children that was in trouble, he saw very little of their parents.
Mhm.
And he said part of the answer might be somehow to get the parents more involved. And I think that's a list of things that we need to do to try to get parents more involved. This Saturday at 10 o'clock, we having pizza and a Coke. We having the president of the medical center. Uh, he's going to be there to speak. We're going to have the district attorney there. We have ministers there. We have all kind of people there to speak to talk about ways that we might can stop the violence.
Mhm.
We have something we call the Walkaway Initiative. When somebody say something bad to you or say something that's disruptive, you don't have to fight. You can walk away from it. So many people choose to fight. Some of our parents taught us defend yourself or they'll run all over you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was before people was walking around with AK-47s.
Right.
When they used to fight, it was over. But right now, with the abundance of guns in the community, it's best for you to walk away and live, and the other person not end up going to jail or getting involved or getting killed
Right.
himself.
Right.
So we teach you walk away from it.
Okay,
That's the
tell us
initiative.
again where it's going to be. Tell us who's organizing it and who needs to attend.
I think everybody needs to attend. I like, especially young people. Jackie Robinson said something. Don't be a spectator. If you're just a spectator, you letting all the things go around wrong in the world today, and you just sitting and say, "Those poor kids, they just do anything now."
Mhm. Mhm.
You need to get involved. Come to this event, bring ideas, just like Bert brought us some ideas. Come to the event and bring us ideas. This is worse than it's ever
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
in Bibb County
Yeah.
since they've been keeping records.
Right. Right.
We breaking last year's record. Last year broke the year before's record.
Right.
Now, where does it end?
Right.
We got so many brilliant people in Macon. We need to come to this event. It lasts 2 hours. We have a number
From
of people.
10 to 12.
And then we have pizza and a Coke. I
Mhm.
promise you, at 12 o'clock, I have my Coke and my pepperoni pizza.
Right. I know he will because he likes it.
Right. But
10
bring
until
your
11, Lizzie Chapel Baptist Church.
10 to 12.
10 to 12, excuse me, 10 to 12, Lizzie Chapel Baptist Church. And you will not regret going. The last one was a huge success. The ministers, I like the fact that the ministers are guiding a lot of this. And that's where a lot of people, that's who a lot of people are in touch with. And so the ministers are guiding this along with some other community agencies that are working with the DA's office. And y'all, this DA is fantastic.
She's
She
marvelous.
is involved with it. She's involved with the literacy thing too. She is involved. She's knowledgeable. She's intelligent. She puts the resources of the DA's office to work, not just with one or two agencies that don't serve folks. She is doing a wonderful job, and we usually have her on about once every couple of months, and she talks about it. And every time she comes, she's got a new program. She's got something new that she's going on,
She's
and
special.
she goes everywhere. Everywhere. And I want to add this. There are some folks who are trying to mount a campaign against her, somebody to run against her in 2 years. So we've got to watch out and have her back and make sure that people know what's going on and what she's doing. That's me talking.
She's
Okay.
special.
She is very, very special. Now, Mr. Montgomery, tell us your position. Tell them a little bit more about yourself, but then tell them your position and what the goals of the alliance are.
Okay, certainly. Well, first of all, let me say thank you so much for having
Oh,
me
it's
today.
wonderful having you.
It's great to see you again, and I certainly relish an opportunity to talk about the work that we've started.
Yeah.
With the alliance. We've already seen some incredible things that are being done, and we're certainly anticipating a lot of others. But as you've mentioned, I just retired from the Bibb County School District after serving with 31 years of creditable service.
Ooh.
I was excited about that. My last several years I served as a principal, and so I know firsthand, the importance of literacy. Having been a former language arts teacher, I truly have an understanding and a deep appreciation for the importance of literacy. I've been in Macon now for 33 years, so
Yeah.
Macon is home to me.
Yeah.
It is, and it holds a very special place. As the executive director with the Macon Bibb Mayor's Literacy Alliance, I, I I really have gained an appreciation for the work that needs to be done here in Macon, Bibb, as we talk about addressing literacy. So the Macon Bibb County, just to give you a little bit about the organization, the Macon Bibb Mayor's Literacy Alliance was established. Um, to give you a little bit of history about it, it was conceived by Dr. West, Dr.
Yeah,
Wanda
Dr.
West,
Wanda West.
who's the special projects director at Central Georgia Tech, along with Miss Brenda Brown, who's the vice president of adult education. And I'm going to talk a little bit later about the two-gen approach that we're taking, which is so important.
Good.
They got together and talked about, certified literate community program that was necessary in order to address, the issues in the Macon Bibb community. One of them being the literacy. And then we know that when you improve in literacy, you improve so many other areas, crime, you improve poverty, and et cetera.
Yeah.
And so they got together another group of individuals who would help them be a part of the planning. That was Dr. Sandra Woodford. I know you might know her with the United Way. Then we got Jill Vanderholt, who's with Community Partnerships, Taryn Collinsworth, who's with Communities in Schools, just some individuals.
Right.
And then they went to Mayor Miller
Right.
and the commission to get full approval of it. He then appointed an executive committee, which consisted of Dr. Henry Ficklin and Dr. Lori Rogers, Dr. Cleveland Johnson, along with Dr. West. And then they, in turn, got approval from the city. And there it was born. Macon Bibb
we all got to vote on that. On
That's
that.
right.
And I was happy to. Yeah. Education. Yes. And I want to point out here, when you talk about literacy, you're not talking about anybody who's dumb.
That is
You're
correct.
not talking about intelligence.
That is
you are
correct.
talking about the lack of
training and
to
understanding. That's right.
attain
That's
a
right.
certain level.
That is true.
Uh,
That is so true.
We're not talking about
Right. What people need to
that.
understand is that literacy is not just about reading.
That's
We
right.
do realize that reading is an indispensable foundation upon which everything that we do rests. And but in the work that we do as Alliance, we focus on those areas, such as financial literacy, digital literacy, media literacy, the different forms of literacy that that will help individuals get the knowledge they need to live a quality life. And so that's what this is about. Of course, we know that reading is the foundation.
It
If you
is.
can't
It
read, you
is.
can't
Yeah.
read. You
Yeah.
can't take medicine because you don't know how to take it. Because
Right.
so while we are emphasizing, the importance of reading, we are also looking at the other areas of literacy. Such as the ones that I just mentioned to you, the financial literacy, even civic and government literacy.
Right.
You've got to know. You have so many people
Yeah.
that say my vote doesn't count. Well, guess what? If you were more literate about how your vote counts, then
Right.
you may go to the polls a
Right.
lot more
Right.
often. So that's what the work of the alliance is for. The good thing about it is that it's two generation. So we are approaching the adult population as well as the student population, because all too often we place our emphasis on literacy for the young people, to get that early foundational
Right.
literacy with the
Right.
reading. And as a former educator, I know you can truly appreciate
Right.
that.
Right.
But it's also important to help the adults, because the adults we have to understand that if you help the adult, you help the child.
That's right.
And so that's
That's
why
right.
we have embraced this two-generation approach. And what the Alliance will do is serve as an umbrella upon which key organizations, both private and public, can pool their resources to really address the issue of illiteracy here in Macon Beard as a certified literate community program. And we call CLCP. The CLCP is a program that's been sanctioned by the Technical College System of Georgia, and it's just a matter of bringing business, government, and education together as a powerhouse to work together, mobilizing all of the resources that we have, because Macon is rich in resources.
Yes.
We are, and,
Yes.
and if we pool those resources, and we can do some incredible things with the literacy here in Macon Beard.
So the school board voted to support it.
Yes,
The Macon Beard Commission voted to support it.
and
Central Georgia
Yes, ma'am.
Tech, they Dr. Ivan Allen, he's
Incredible.
just such a jewel, such a
He is.
resource for this community.
Mhm.
And he gets so much done, and he doesn't
Right.
do anything, just sit there and
Right.
smile. Of course he
Yeah.
does a whole lot
Yeah.
more than that. But anything that's positive in this community,
Right.
he's a part
He's a
of
part
it.
of
We're
it.
gonna, based on your suggestion, we're gonna have him to come in sometime and just talk about all of the different things that are available at Central Georgia Tech, which is, I believe, the largest technical college. Is it in the
In the
state?
state.
See, so and this is a Black man, y'all. You have stuff to be proud of. You have people to be proud of. They're achieving things, and we want to let you know about these things. Now, Herbert, do you have a question
I think
for
that
Jim?
it appears, and I'm just
Speaking into your mic.
it appears that everything is working pretty well. But what I'm wondering is, do you have many people calling in
Do we have many people calling in to the show?
today?
We've only had the one call so far, but they're listening.
Mhm.
They're listening.
I like them to listen when they call in.
All right. Did you have a question that you wanted to ask, Jim?
It's an interesting concept, and perhaps it'll work.
Yeah.
I'm,
Go
I'm
ahead.
not I'm not in I'm not against new programs, but they have so many new programs. You get there and you do this,
Mm-hmm.
and you really look at the fine work, and you really see. I mean, I know a lot of programs they have, but a lot of times, do they really work? And I'm not saying
With
it
this
doesn't work.
one,
I'm just
And
I'm-
that's a
Yeah.
very valid question.
well, talk
I'm
about the
looking from afar.
numbers of people who don't
Right.
have a high school
Right.
diploma.
Right.
Talk about
We're,
that.
we're looking at adult and children illiteracy, because you have ninth graders that are dropping out. And so it's important, I think, to pull those ninth graders back into the fold, get them through an educational piece and into the working. The one thing I do love about this is that it's a team approach. It's not just an individual approach. It's a team approach, because we feel that with everyone working together, we can get it accomplished.
You
We've
know,
got WorkSource Georgia, WorkSource Middle Georgia. We've got, so there's that workforce
The
development
job
piece.
but
training,
listen,
all of
but
that.
one of the
Yep.
things I'm
Go ahead.
concerned about is this. Elaine Huckabee Lucas, I've been knowing for a long time. We went to school together. But other than that,
Mhm,
she has gotten many people their high school diploma.
mhm,
Seemed like to me some systematic approach would be to give more resources to this person who's accomplishing so much. How many? 1,700 people?
1,600.
1,600
mhm.
people. I mean, it's remarkable. And I think some kind of more resources ought to be put into that because she's getting so many people their high school diploma.
Well, I think that all of it together
Right.
is
So,
going to work because we're not able to take in all of the students. I think when we started EL High School,
I think it's
there were like what 35 to
mhm,
40,000 people in the general area who did not have their
mhm,
high school diploma, and
mhm.
that was 10, 12 years ago. The numbers have increased, and so we're talking about this area, not just making bib. So those numbers, we're able to take a bite out of it, but with a concerted effort
Right.
and the
And
alliance,
that's
what he's saying
right.
is we'll be able to reach
That's the
more
difference. That's the
quicker.
difference in your traditional program and this. You can think of this as more of an approach than a program. And the reason I say that is because you have existing resources. You've got United Way, you've got communities and schools, you've got community partnerships, you've got all of these resources in Macon that are already existing programs. Well, the idea of the alliance is to actually pull those programs together so that we can address the literacy needs of the community
Mhm,
as a powerhouse, so to speak, rather
mhm,
than as
mhm.
individuals. So these programs will continue offering the services that they offer, but we will strategically reach out as a team and address the literacy needs based on strategic planning that we plan to
I guess
complete.
what I'm saying
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
we have
You use
a,
your mic
a
so we can hear you.
proven successful way
Hmm.
that one organization has gotten so many people uh, involved and got their high school diploma. Seems like more resources ought to be put into that organization to help it along to get people their high school diploma.
Well, maybe let's
Well,
see what happens
I'm
with the
saying,
alliance because I agree
okay,
with you that that is one thing that could be supported, not us, but the
but
students themselves in whatever way they would learn best as far
before
as
But the alliance involves pulling together all of the colleges, all of the universities, all of the schools, pulling them all together, both public and private, to address the needs along with the organization. So
mhm.
those young people that fit in that will certainly benefit from some of the services that they're offering. It's just the
Okay,
approach
I'm
we
that we
not,
got a
take.
I'm,
caller.
Okay.
Let's take this
I,
call.
I like this.
Caller, welcome to welcome to Ask Elaine. Caller, are you there? All right.
We don't have a caller.
I guess we don't. We had a caller because
A
our
caller talks.
engineer did say that we had a caller. But the
But
alliance, the reason that I could
look at it.
support the alliance was that it was determined that they could incorporate all of the different entities that were working to
Independently. Hmm.
alleviate
Hmm.
the
But the number of people that EL High School has,
you can tell Herbert is on our board of advisors,
right?
our
And
distinguished educators
what
for
I'm
EL
saying
High
is,
School.
what
And he
is,
does know that we have been successful
Yeah.
and
with
so
students and they've moved on.
I want people to, when something you find is working, you need to
Support
put
that. Yeah.
resources in that. 1,600 people received their high school diploma over a short period of time. And I think something, when you see that is working, you should expand that. This is not against anything
Right.
anyone
Right.
else is
Right.
doing.
Right.
But I come to your graduations, I see more and more people finishing and they going to college, they're going, getting jobs, they're going out and doing things, they're going in the military. And seems like me, some resources are, and you work with about a 1 or 2 person operation. I think if they increase uh, giving you the resources and people that you need, you could double that. And I'm saying
I
some
think that will
resources
be
ought to do.
discussed.
I mean,
I, I think, well,
how long have you had the school?
10 years.
Just
10
think,
years.
have anybody offered to do anything?
There have been some agencies that we've worked with. I'm sorry, y'all. We are out of time, which means that we're going to have a part 2 to this discussion. I promise you, we will have a part 2 and a part 3. So, thank you so much for
Thank you.
tuning in. We're going to put you on our calendar because we got to talk some more. And Herbert, we got to talk with you some more as well. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We'll see you again next Wednesday for another edition of Ask Elaine.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry.